and welcome back to Cooking with Miss Bauer. Hang on a minute. Something's different. Hold on. Did you change? Did you? Oh, well, I think we're in a different part of the kitchen. And as you can see, I have a new hat and a new apron, and they're cute and matchy, and guess what? I made them. Super cute, right? Well, I'm really glad that you're here today. Today, we're gonna dive into making some chocolate chip cookies, but these are special cookies because they are not going to have any eggs in them. But you wanna know what though? They are still going to be some of the best cookies you've eaten. I've already made this recipe once. So good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to share it with you. All right, are you ready to get started? Come on, let's go. Since this is only the second time I've made this recipe, I had to write the ingredients down because it was on my phone. But I'm using my phone right now, so I can't use it at the same time to do different things. So here's what we're gonna do. That's why I wrote it down. So I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna change the recipe a little bit. Do you remember how last time that you were here, I mentioned that sometimes some of the best things about cooking is to get to play with the ingredients some? Well, that's what I'm gonna do with this particular recipe because there are some things that, most of the things I liked about that recipe, but this one I wanna change it just a little bit. So first we're going to start with half a cup of margarine or butter. This is my margarine. It's in a stick form. I'm going to open it up and plop it, plop, into my bowl. I'm gonna set that off to the side. And then it says I need a cup of brown sugar, but I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and then 1/4 of white sugar to see how that changes the flavor. So I'm gonna need 3 of these small little cups. 1, that came out kind of hard. Oh, you can see my kitty down here. Oh, never mind. There he goes. 2, and remember when we're measuring, we want to be as accurate as we can because these measurements are the way they are for a reason. Because if you don't, then the taste is going to come out funny. And 3, all right. Stick that in there for just a second. And 1/4 a cup of white sugar. And then it says to cream it together, which means to kind of smush and mash and mix all at the same time. I have my favorite purple spatula, but I almost feel like I need to get a spoon or something. We'll try it with this and we'll see how it goes. Oh, that's not gonna be so bad, I don't think. Great. This is all creamed together, it should kind of look a little bit like that, okay? And you know how Miss Bauer always tells you guys to follow directions? Guess what? I didn't follow these directions. I skipped the first step. The first step says to preheat your oven to 350 or 375. See what happens when you don't follow directions? So I'm gonna do that right now. The next direction says to add almond milk and vanilla and stir to combine. So I need 1/4 a cup of almond milk. And this is brand new, so I have to open it. Okay. Don't spill. fourth a cup of almond milk. And it says a teaspoon of vanilla, but I use a lot of vanilla when I'm baking, and I'm not gonna actually measure it. I'm gonna measure with my heart. You're gonna hear me say that a few times in this episode. Just measure with your heart. It's just like a little splish. Splish. Sploosh. Maybe a splish and a sploosh. We like stuff good. Then you're gonna mix those together. And it's getting a little bit more like cookie dough with that wet from the almond milk and the wet from the vanilla. Ooh, it smells good. You know, I really wish they would make smell-o-vision a thing so you could smell what I'm doing. How awesome would that be if you could smell when someone was cooking something delicious? Could you imagine? Oh. All right, so those are stirred together. And I'm gonna set this to the side for now and get my things ready for the next part. Up next, the directions say in a separate bowl, we're going to whisk together flour, baking powder and baking soda, and salt. So for my flour, I'm going to need 1 1/2 cup, which is actually going to be, there's still a little bit of liquid in there. That's gonna be a little bit more than what I want to do, I think. So I'm going to do 1/4 of a cup less. So there are 4 of these in a cup. So I would need 6. So instead of 6, I'm going to do 5. Can you help me count? Maybe 1, 2. Now don't get ahead of me. Wait just a second. 3. This stuff is stubborn. Don't want to come out of here. Are you seeing that? It is not wanting to come out of here. That was 3, right? Here's 4. If you just saw my kitty cat ran really fast, his food just dropped. That was 4. All right, 1 more and 5. All right, so maybe we'll do 5 1/2 or a little bit, because something's just telling me to not forego on that just yet. All right, so we have done our flour. We can set that off to the side. And again, I didn't grab a measuring spoon for the teaspoon, so I'm going to, again, just measure with my heart. It's just a sprinkle. But if you've never measured with anything before, please do not measure with your heart, because you could do too much, and you don't want to do too much or not enough, because it could mess up the recipe. Again, those accurate measurements are really, really important. Sprinkle, okay. And then we're gonna do a sprinkle of baking powder. And then it says a pinch of salt, but I might just do a sploosh, which is basically the same thing. Sploosh. All right, and then it said to whisk the things together, which is why it's important that you follow directions, because this is a whisk. This right here is a whisk. And I could use my spatula that's in my other cookie dough, that's in the wet ingredients, but it's sticky and it's gonna make, we have to mix all of these ingredients, because if you look close, all you see is white, right? All the ingredients I just added together are white. You can't tell the difference between them. So it wants us to whisk it together. So all of those ingredients get combined. And now my flour and baking soda and baking powder and salt are all added together. The next step said to add my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients in half, which means what I'm gonna do is, this bowl is really nice because it has a little spout right here and a spout right here, and I'm just gonna dump about half. And I have done this when I make banana bread, where I do it like I do my wet to my dry, where I add my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients in halves, because then I can make sure everything gets fully incorporated. That beeping was my oven saying, hey, I'm ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir this together. I'm going to be really careful not to try and get any of the flour or the wet ingredients out of the bowl. And not doing so well, but that's okay. Because one thing about Miss Bauer is she's going to make a mess. And it's just going to have to be okay. All right, that is fully incorporated. So I'm going to go ahead and add my other half in. Set that off to the side. Over on this side so you can see. And it's going to become more like a dough in this step. Still spewing flour everywhere. That's really all right. Mixed all of it together, and as you can see, it's getting a little bit harder to stir because it is now cookie dough. But if we're making chocolate chip cookies, what are we missing? The chocolate chips. Oh, you should have said, let me go grab them and we'll put them in. All right, you ready? You know, I copied this recipe from my phone before I started making these, and I realized I missed a step. You want to know what step I missed? Add chocolate chips. How are we supposed to make chocolate chip cookies without the chocolate chips? So just because it's not on there, am I not supposed to add the chocolate chips? Guess what? I'm adding the chocolate chips. Do you remember how a few minutes ago I said to remember to measure with your heart? When you are adding chocolate to a recipe, measure with your heart. So you just dump in and stir and then see if you need any more. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Watch. All right, so there are a few little wells in here, and I've covered, there's chocolate chips that are all in there. I'm going to use this spatula and I'm going to mix this in, and I'm probably going to add a few more just because I want to make sure that there is chocolate chips in every part of the dough, because I like to have chocolate chips in every bite of my cookie, not just in like half the cookie. No, we need chocolate in every bite of the cookie. And I am seeing some parts where there is not chocolate chips. So I am going to do a light sprinkle. Maybe light-ish. We're gonna mix those in. This is getting really hard to stir. All right, so now we have chocolate chip cookie dough. But what do we do with the cookie dough? Do we just eat it? I mean, we can, but actually, you're not supposed to eat raw cookie dough because it's flour that's raw, not necessarily the egg. I mean, the egg is raw when you're using eggs, but the flour is what's raw. It even says right here, this sentence right here, it says, flour is raw. Please cook fully before ingesting. Ingesting means eating it. So you want to make sure that you can make this into like an edible cookie dough, but you have to bake this first, then add it in. And I've done that before, and maybe I'll do another episode with that. But so this is all ready. The next step is to form them into balls and get them in the oven. You ready? Here we go. The next step on our recipe says to get 1 to 2 tablespoons of dough and form it into a ball, and then to bake it. I am going to put tin foil over my pan because I don't want to have to wash this pan. You know how I am with dishes, and really it's okay. So I conveniently have my tin foil right here, and I'm going to loosely measure about as long as my pan. And if it goes in, awesome. If it goes over, that's okay. All right, another step that I like to do is to spray the pan with some spray oil stuff, because you don't want them to stick, because then when you're ready to enjoy a cookie, you can't because it's stuck to the tin foil and you really don't want to do that. So I'm going to spray this really quick. Nice and sprayed. All right, my hands are clean. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab a little bit of dough and I'm going to roll it all out, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to plop it. Just going to roll and plop. Are you ready to do it with me? Here we go. Do you see what's wrong with this picture? What do I have to do? I need to wash my hands. I don't even think I can put these in the oven before I can wash my hands. So I'm gonna go wash my hands before we stick these in the oven. I'll be right back. Don't lick your fingers, Miss Bauer. Oh man, so tempting. Ooh. That's better. Okay, now I'm gonna stick these in the oven. The recipe says to bake for 9 to 11 minutes. I think I'm gonna set it for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna check the timer. So I'm gonna stick these in and I will set the timer and we will be back to check on them when the oven goes off. All right, you ready? Here we go. Let's see if you remember what we're supposed to do. Now we can't get rid of this because this is deliciousness in a bowl. So we're gonna set this here. Maybe not there, that's the oven. Let's set it here. What are we supposed to do with all this? Are we supposed to leave it for somebody else to clean up? I mean, my husband should be home any minute. So should I leave it for him to clean up? No, I guess I'll clean it up. Okay, we have about 3 minutes left, but I have to show you what these look like. Look. Oh, stop fogging up, phone. Stop it. Look. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am stoked to try these. You know what? I may eat them all, and you won't get to try any. I'm totally kidding. I can't eat all these cookies. I'll have a stomach ache for days. You shouldn't eat too many cookies either. All right, we got 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, let's take them out. Hit the timer button. I'm glad I did just 10 minutes. All right, I'm gonna leave that on because I still need to make another batch. There are way too many cookies left. I'm gonna switch hands. I'm gonna pull this a little closer. This is just a table. And I have my cooling rack right here. So I am going to hold my pan with my oven mitt, and I'm going to, actually I'm gonna leave those right there because they are still a little bit on the gooey side. And I'm afraid that if I go underneath it with my spatula when it's super, super hot, it's not going to let me use the spatula to pick it up. It's just gonna crumble. So I'm going to leave those for just about a minute or so and let them cool off a little bit on the pan before I move them from the pan to the cooling rack and make another batch. Okay, it's been about a minute or so. I'm going to go ahead and use my spatula, very carefully wiggle it underneath. That's why you use that cooking spray. And you're gonna move it on to the cooling rack. Oh, not in between, on. There we go. All right, I'm gonna do this with the rest of these. And there are 12 cookies. It's pretty important to go kind of slow doing this because you don't want to mess up your cookie. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but these two cookies are pushed together. They cooked together. So I'm going to use my spatula to release it from each other. Ooh, these look really good, y'all. I don't know, I might eat them all. I might not bring any for you. That's 8. Can you help me get from 8 to 12? 8. This is 9. 10. 11. 13. It's not 13? Are you sure? All right, hold on. Now I gotta go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I'm really glad I went back and double checked. All right, so the next step, we're gonna set these off to the side and these as well. And we're going to make more cookies. I'm gonna use the same stuff from before because I don't like to dirty stuff. So I'm going to wash my hands and we're gonna come back to this in just a second. Hold on. Okay, hands are all clean. It is time to go for round 2. While the second batch is in, I am going to have to try our creation and make sure that they taste okay to bring to school to you, because if they don't taste good, I'm not bringing them. I'm just not. Okay, are you ready to try it? Here we go. Okay, now see, this is the hard part because now I have to decide which cookie to try. This one looks the best right here. Okay, I'm gonna break it apart so I can see the inside. Okay, here we go, you ready? That chocolate. That actually turned out better than the last ones I did. Wow. I mean, these are terrible. They have to go in the trash. I mean, my stomach. I mean, your stomach. I mean, they're really good. And I'm bringing them to school tomorrow. I really hope that you enjoyed cooking with Miss Bauer. Come back next time to see what we're gonna make. See you later.